Part 4 of the layout project. We're going to be working on the wall where the first module is going to be put up. So let's get going right now. Hi, I'm Tom Kovichak, and this is Tom's Trains and Things. This channel was created to help other modelers who are in need of guidance in pursuing their dream of building a model railroad. And today, we're going to show you how I get the wall put together. We're putting up 1x2 strips and the white insulation in between it on 16-inch centers. What I had planned for today is really long, so I'm going to have to make this into part 4 and part 5 before you see the actual modules up on the wall. If you haven't done so already and you like what you see here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And while you're at it, ding that bell so you can be notified whenever I have a new video coming out. And check out the playlists. I have this video and this whole series on a playlist, and I have other playlists similar to that that shows you how to do things in model railroading. So go check that out. So let's get going right now. The supplies: a dozen 1x2s and white foam insulation. I'm working on the walls right now, as you can see right there, right behind me. I'm using 1x2 furring strips and 3/4 inch foam on 16-inch centers. At the top, I'm able to screw into the seal on top of the concrete block. I have 1/4 inch anchors. I got hex head on the bottom and flathead up on the top. I have to cut the 1x2s and the insulation short because, as you can see, it reaches up above that shelf. I'll keep that shelf up there. I may extend it out just a little bit further once I get the walls up. But this is looking pretty good so far. It's 3.2 R factor. And the pink foam right here, which I put back here, is a 5 R factor. Now, Home Depot called it 2.7 millimeter, but it's actually 1/8 inch plywood, and it doesn't look too bad. I had to get it cut at 3 foot so it would fit in my van, but I got 4 pieces of it. And it was only $11 a piece. So that was pretty good because 1/8 inch hardboard was like almost $19, and the 16th inch hardboard was $10. So I got the 1/8 inch plywood. It looks a lot nicer. It'll fit real nice. I'll have it above it and below it, and the one piece that I put as a brace going across, I'm not sure how high I'll put it. I might put it at 4 foot. We'll see where we're at with it. But I don't want to put it down too low. I'm going to have to start cutting some 1x2s to fit up there. Easier said than done. Here's my saw on my workbench. So I'll probably have to take that off, put it on the floor, and cut the wood. I got as far as right up to the door, and then I took the molding off around the door, and I found how bad a job that they did on it. Well, apparently the opening for the door wasn't big enough, so they had to trim just a little bit out, and they cut it a little bit crooked, and they left a big old gap in there, and it's really dark, but I mean, there's a big old void back in here, so I'm going to have to fill all that in with the expandable foam and fill this in right here. I'll probably put a 1x4. I cut a 1x4, but it's kind of tight right here, and that pushes the frame in. So I might just put it up to here and then fill the rest of that up with foam. And then I'm going to put one 1x4 across here, and then a 1x6 across the top, because I'll need a 1x6 to cover that hole right there. I'll drill a 3/4 inch hole up on through that wood right in the center, because I want to put a light on the outside, because right outside is where I have my trash cans. And this is the walkout door right here. So my trash cans are right there. Okay, so I'm at a standstill right now. This is Saturday morning. We're going to be heading to Lake Placid in about an hour, so I get to rest for a while. I'm going to have a soda, sit out on a porch. I can't do anything else right here because I don't have the lumber to trim around there. I think what I'm going to do is get 1x5 and put it all along the bottom as a baseboard. So I'll need 2 right there, 2 1x5s right there. I'll need 2 1x4s, 1 there, and 1 on this side, and a short maybe a 1x6 up on top. And then we'll be good to go for around this door right here. I got 1x2 left, so I figured that out pretty good. And we'll worry about this over here once I get all this finished up. I think once I get the rest of this finished around this door right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the baseboard down on the bottom. I'm going to glue in all the panels, because they're just in there by friction between the studs. Loctite foam board PL300. That's going to go on there just to keep it in place. I'm going to have to mark where that air conditioning power cord is right there. Make sure I don't put anything on the wall or put any nails through there. Up on the top there, I'm going to put some insulation, maybe some pink foam up inside there. I'll have to be creative and cut some angles on it. And then I'll fill in all this up in here also, because if I turn out the lights, I can see daylight. Well, actually you can see daylight right now right there, but when I turn out the lights, you can see daylight right over in here. There's just a little bit of a gap. I have it going all the way out to the end of the concrete header, but you know, there's still a little gap in there, so we're going to fill that in, make sure we don't get any breeze coming up through here. And then, like I put the pink foam over there, I'm going to do the same thing over here on this side. I mean, this is real small, there's not that much clearance, so it shouldn't take up too much. I want to get going with my model railroad already. My goodness, I mean, we're almost there. My L girders, you can see there, I got some 1x4 and 1x2 right here. I have a couple of those, and those were what I had supporting the module. So that's going to go back up on the wall over here. And I'll need a lip for the bottom. Now, before I had it angled back on the module, now that might be a perfect space to put the shelf. If you remember the 2 modules I had them where I could lift them up and work on the bottom of them. That would be ideal. I cut a piece of lumber, a 1x6 for the top seal, right above the door, and as you can see right over here, I put some insulation in there and left a little gap right in the center for my conduit. I want to get the framing done around the door so I could put the last piece of insulation right here. I also got a couple of 1x6s for the baseboard, so I'm going to run a 1x6. Let me follow my finger all the way down. Run a 1x6 along the bottom. I got gaps and cracks and big gap filler. Well, that expandable foam isn't what it used to be. Now that said, big gaps. So I can imagine, you know, going and filling that thing up. I used up the whole can and I couldn't see anything. I mean, it looked worse than, you know, a small crack. So I wouldn't recommend it. What I ended up doing was I put in the 1x4 like I said I was, but I shoved in a bunch of insulation in there instead to compensate for what that gap filler didn't do. I would not recommend that brand. I put a pilot hole on here, right there, and on the outside of the door. So whenever I find my wood boring bits, which are in a tote, I know which tote they're in, but I don't feel like digging out that tote because it's stuck in the middle right now. So I want to get this thing done, and then I'll worry about that later when I get ready to put the light outside. I used some of my basswood sheets as shims underneath the baseboard. I have a 1x6 going all the way across the bottom, and I compensated for the slope in the garage floor, and I got that level so I could work with that. They didn't put the door in correctly, and I couldn't move it back because I got it grouted in and everything, so I had to cut this 1x6 back a little bit. I'm satisfied with that. I'm going to rest because it's about 9 o'clock on Sunday night. So that's it for today. I'm sweating my butt off. It was 81 degrees today. It's nice and cool outside, and the air conditioner was on in there, and it was nice and cool. In fact, I had to shut it off because it was a little bit too cold. But anyway, I'm hot, and I'm tired. In the next video, you'll get to see the module actually up on the wall. I finally get it up there, and there's some other work after that. So, until the next time, we'll see ya. Here we go with part 4 of my new layout. We're gonna prep the first wall where I'm gonna mount the old module from my old house. So let's get going. All right. Okay. I don't think I like that one. Okay. Here we go. Part 4 of the layout project. Today we're going to work on the wall, putting up the strips and the insulation and part 4 of the layout project. We're going to be putting up